Real people, real topics, real conversation. It's gonna be okay. Real topics, real conversation. It's gonna be okay.
Hey guys, welcome back to It's Gonna Be Okay, my podcast on recovery, mental health, addiction, and life, all things beautiful. Some testimonies along the way. My next guest is a very, very special guest. Come all the way down to here to Perth from Darwin for a concert and a bit of a break. Agreed to step in. Huge respect for him for stepping in. He's been on his own recovery journey from alcohol, has made some major appearances on some different YouTube channels, and it's been doing things. So welcome to the show, Jimmy Rambles.
Thanks for having me, man.
All the way from I'm going to guess Edinburgh. Eh?
Edinburgh.
There we go.
Correct.
So I had you on Youth Jam Radio, Beats, Bars and Banter via a Zoom call, so it's good to see you in the flesh. We did a bit of a rewind how you started in music, but now we'll go even further. And how was it, growing up?
Growing up, mate, in Scotland it was a good upbringing. I loved it, but it's when you get a bit older and you start thinking back, that was a bit mad, wasn't it? And in Scotland, stuff like alcoholism, it's completely normal. It's normalised, and it's in the culture. A lot of people around the world in certain places, especially like Western civilizations, can probably understand what it's like. I think it's a bit like that here in Australia, but Scotland and Ireland, it's so ingrained in the culture that really it's just normal life, having alcoholics in the family. It's just one of these things that goes on. There's drugs there as well. Maybe not always too major, depending on where you grew up and stuff like that, what class you're in. But like I says, growing up was fun, but getting into alcohol was like a coming of age thing. That's like what everyone's waiting for.
Yeah.
And
How old were you when you first did alcohol?
First, I think maybe about 11, 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So... And I think like the very first time I was actually allowed to do it. It was like my dad had all his mates round watching the football, and it was like, Dad, go and give a drink. And he gave me my first beer. And I was like, wow, took the first drink and it tastes fucking awful. And I was like, oh, yuck. Why does everyone do this? Like, this is disgusting. But I had my little sister who was looking at me going, how's he getting a drink? And I was saying, well, it's because I'm older than you. So I drank that, I forced it down. And then I just remember feeling a bit funny, but I don't know if it was placebo or if maybe I was just putting it on. I remember saying to her, I'm drunk. And she would be like, Dad, I want to be drunk. It's like, anyway, that's my oldest memory, but properly like actual drinking or the pursuit of alcohol, probably since I was about 13, 14-year-old, more or less my whole life I've been drinking or getting drunk 2-3 times a week since then.
Nice.
Up until 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, that's a good turnaround, 2.5 years, and you've been in Australia for 6, 7, you were saying before the show?
Almost 6.
Almost 6. Very, very nice. And through the recovery, getting clean from alcohol, considering you would have had some wild stories and stuff like that over there in Scotland. But what's the drinking culture like in Scotland as opposed to, maybe here?
Well, kind of just touching on what I'm saying, I know what I know is growing up. It's anything that you're going to do socially always involves a drink. So it's like, and that's around all ages and everything. So it's like someone's been born, you have a drink. It's called wetting the bairn's head.
Yeah.
So everyone just drinks for that. And then it's like someone dies, everyone gets drunk. It's like weddings, funerals, everything, birthdays. Even if you're going to catch up with a mate, it's no, let's go have a talk. Let's go have a drink. We're always drinking.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I am not against alcohol. I've loved alcohol, and I've loved the social aspect of it, in a sense that it can be a good excuse for bringing people together. It's also a way for people who maybe aren't as outgoing or extroverted to really get a little bit confidence to either put themselves out there or just like make friends. And I understand that. So I'm not against like alcohol, but it's just for me personally, when it gets to a point where it's kind of like having a bit of a hold over you and it's affecting your life and affecting other people because of it, that's when it becomes a problem. So it's okay until it's not. So for like people that can literally go and have a drink and not potentially ruin their life, then I'm good for you, man. I'm envious. But with me, it's kind of like all or nothing. Like if I'm going on getting a drink, it'll be 40 and it'll be like 3 days long. And it's like, when does it stop?
Pretty much,
So that's the problem. But the biggest lie ever told in Scotland is, I'm never drinking again. It's almost like a meme. It's like any time, the next day, everyone, whether it's Facebook or whatever, or they see their mates, are like, I'm never drinking again. There's only one cure for the hangover.
Just keep going.
That's it, mate. And that's the problem, man. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, very, very vicious. So you've been in Australia for about 6 years now. I came over here 6 years ago. What have been some highlights of places you visited and people you've met? I mean, I know we're doing Underground Takeover directly after this, the other podcast that I co-host for. So we'll touch on more on music and stuff there. But, you know, obviously meeting the young lads and helping them out, and just tell us a bit about what you've been doing while you've been over here.
Well, my first 2 years in Australia was mostly traveling around, seeing the places. I had kind of a different approach to the whole backpacking experience that usual people would coming from the UK would do. Most people maybe like go straight to Sydney or Melbourne and have a good time there. With me, it was completely different. I kind of came straight to Darwin and I went out community for 6 months. So I was in an Aboriginal community. It was Port Keats, Wadair. And when I tell that to people, sometimes a lot of people go, "Oh, what'd you go there for? What was that like?" But I tell you what, it was one of the most beautiful and humbling experiences in my life. And I've met so many amazing people there. And yeah, and that'll always have a special place in my heart. Like, and it really just like introduced me to like Aboriginal culture and like First Nation people in Australia, and kind of really like made me open like my mind and my heart up to something that I really didn't know much about, because growing up in Scotland, like we're not even taught about Scottish history, never mind like stuff like that. So yeah, it was nice to kind of like go there, and I was fortunate my sister had been there. That's one of the reasons why I had went there. She's had a fly in fly out job for like 4 weeks and ended up staying nearly 7 years. So when I went there, I was welcomed with open arms, and yeah, I really was surprisingly shocked at how amazing and fun and just really beautiful those people could be that lived there. Even the workers that were in there from other parts, interstates of Australia as well. Like the vast majority of people there are there for the right reasons. So yeah, that was when I came to Australia. I'd went there and I'd spent a lot of time at the rec centre, hanging out with the youths, and going to the local swimming pool. I'd take my GoPro, and all the little kids, they'd love it, be jumping in the swimming pool and like just having a mad time, eh? So, and I'd got into like vlogging my travels at that point. I just like really got into like doing YouTube just to kind of like share my journey with my mates and my family back home.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone in the community just called me Mr. YouTube, and it ended up getting me some cool experiences. I ended up getting invited out country, and like had some folks showing me how they hunt and things like that. So I just really felt really blessed to do that. And then after spending my time there, I went a holiday to Thailand. And for anyone that's going to go there, especially if you're single and you've got no plans, it's a crazy place that can really take hold of you. I went with a one-way ticket, spent 4 months there, and had a wild time, let's just say. And then what ended up happening was I was like, I need to go and do my regional work because I'm on a working holiday visa to get my extended time in Australia, because I just knew from the start that this place, this country just had so much to offer. It had so much that I didn't know about and that I just wanted to have more. And I knew that different places would have different vibes and different things to experience, you know? So, yeah, so I came back to Australia and I ended up moving to a place off the border between New South Wales and Queensland. And it's a tiny little place called Bonshaw. And if you thought the community was small, this place was even smaller. It literally had a servo station and like a school and like a handful of houses. That was it. And so I lived on a farm with this guy. He used to be the mayor of the community back in Port Keats, actually. And that's how I knew him. I got introduced to him from my sister. His name's Brownie, him and his wife Lily, absolute legends. So they're one of the most important people that I've probably met since being in Australia, to answer your question. But I learnt so much from him. He'd be going out like building fences and just like introducing me to his way of life. He had like all these animals like sheep, dogs, chickens, and for a city boy, if it's Scotland, that's completely like different to what I've known growing up, you know, coming through the concrete jungle and the schemes. That's the housing estate. So yeah, it was first time in my life that I actually relaxed. Like my whole life I've always been really get up and go and 100 miles an hour, and my whole life everyone's always told me I've had ADHD, and I never believed it once. Probably because there's people in my family that have like severe like spectrum disorders. So for me, when I thought of that, I thought that's not me. But obviously there's different levels to it. And only when I became sober, I started realizing the way that I was thinking or reacting to situations, or the way I couldn't focus or I'd hyper focus and obsessed. I was thinking, do you know what? I think I'm undiagnosed, you know, and I didn't have the drink or the come downs or whatever to blame for it. So I really got to see myself in a new light and think I'm a fucking nightmare. Maybe it was me. Maybe it wasn't them.
Yeah. And we'll touch more on the drinking and the alcoholism and addiction as a whole.
But yeah.
So if there's someone listening now whose, you know, family member, friend, loved one is caught in that addiction, what are some comforting words you'd say to that person that's trying to get that addict essentially back onto safe ground and things like that?
Well, I would say you're not alone, because I think that a lot of the time addiction comes from feeling disconnected from people, or disconnected from family or friends or even the community. And some people might look towards self-medicating as a way to either feel different or to numb whatever trauma or pain they're suppressing or they've went through. So I can totally understand that for me personally in my own experience, but also seeing it in others, seeing it in family members, close mates, you know, people trying to fill a void where they feel that something's missing. And that could be like abandonment issues. That could be like maybe they've went through some abuse or neglect in the past. You know, maybe it's severe bullying, or like they've had some sort of thing happen to them that they just can't get over, and so I can totally understand, and you'd want to relay that to someone, like that you want to be there for them. One of the sad things is when you don't get to speak to someone, or when someone's doesn't get to that recovery stage, because it's a fucking hard thing to do. Do you know what I mean? And there's for different people, different things can be easier or harder to deal with. You know, recently I had one of my mates who was a drummer in my band. He passed away earlier this year, and that hit me so hard. Like we were so close at one point.
What was that too, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, he was addicted to heroin.
Oh.
So it's and I think he was going back and forth with his recovery, and he was getting better and stuff. And yeah, it's a sad thing, because like I said, going back to 2014 to 2016, we spent like every day together. We were like bros, like inseparable, like two halves of the same soul. And yeah, every single person that's met, he's also called Jamie Hewson. Rest in power, my bro. I fucking miss you, mate. He's looking down right now. He's probably laughing his head off.
Is he Black Wolf Trap as well? Or?
Jamie and Shuni was my band before Black Wolf Trap.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk more on that on the underground one.
Yeah. So Jamie was a character, to say the least, a total wild card. Anyone that met him, even for a brief moment or once, will probably have a story to tell about him. And he was so fun and outrageous, but it's like he couldn't deal with being sober. He always had to feel something. And whether that was Valium or whatever, you know? And I don't know. I feel like we could have seen the signs before, but that's the thing about addiction. I just when it gets hold of you, it's sometimes when it gets onto heavy, hard shit, it's really hard to kind of come back from it. So I don't know. I just wish I was there more for him, you know. So it's yeah, and I just want to make him proud, you know.
No, I'm sure you are with all the stuff. We met through Wings. Shout out to Wings at Take Flight. And as you know, one thing I didn't want to get too much onto is the music, because I'm doing it on another podcast shortly after this one. But the healing property from music, how have you found that? Is that keeping you sober as well, or?
Yeah, I've always looked at music as being like my medicine, you know, and music for me has been like my drug, especially performing live. To me, there's no better feeling in the world, you know, and the buzz I get off that, to me, is better than any high that you could get off substance. And for me, what helped me get sober was thinking that I'm just going to pretend to myself that I'm going to play a show. Because after very early in my music journey, I realised that if I was getting too drunk or too on it, that it would affect the music. A lot of the big part of the show and our live performance would be the banter between the crowd and the artist. So it's like in between the songs. That was because I was the front man of the band, as the direct connection between keeping the audience's focus, but also having that like breathing space to maybe have a laugh or whatever. And I found that if I was drinking beforehand, I would swear a lot more. I mean, swearing is another thing that's embedded in the Scottish culture. We kind of use it as commas.
Yeah.
But if you're on stage and you've got hundreds of people watching you and you keep saying, oh, fuck, 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 or cunt, cunt, cunt,
Yeah.
some people don't like that. And you don't want to lose a connection to someone through the music just because where you were brought up said it's okay to say those words. Do you know what I mean? So I found that if I wasn't drinking alcohol, I could put on a better show and I could have a better connection to the audience. Because especially in that first band that I had, I felt like it was genuinely my job to make people forget their problems. I thought that's what I was doing. Like, people say, well, what are you doing? I'm no singer. I'm no rapping on stage. I'm giving people an experience, even if it's just for 3.5 minutes. I'm letting people forget their life, forget their troubles and worries, and just like connect with people that they've maybe never even met. You're in a room. You might have 1 or 2 mates. You might have more. You might have less. But when the music's playing and you're there experiencing it, we're all together. We're all alive. We're all connected. And we're all one unit, man. And it's like a magic spell. And that's what I was, that was the goal with the band. It was like, we were just trying to be fun. And we knew the world's a fucked up place, but we're going, do you know what? Right here tonight in this room, we're all going to come together and we're going to be one tribe, one clan, one gang. You know what I mean? And that was it for me. So it was kind of understanding and getting the willpower of being able to say, right, no, we can't drink or we can't fucking take any of this shit if we're going to be performing. Because when you're in a band as well, especially the band we were in, we got popular pretty fast. At that time in Edinburgh, it was kind of unheard of for a band to get to our level where we were at. Usually it's always the Glasgow bands. And rightly so, because they've had so many good bands, but it's a bigger city. They've got more venues and they've got more people and more people willing to go to shows. So for us to do something from Edinburgh and then get accepted by Glasgow and kind of like, oh, we got owned, like, oh, Glasgow's own. So a lot of people thought us as a Glasgow band for that reason. But for me, it was like, right, we need to stop this. And that says that's a problem when you're in a band and you've got all these eyes and you've got all these fans, because we'd constantly get offered stuff for free. We'd get offered pills. We'd get offered like, you want a bit of this and that, and even by other acts, you know. And you want to look rock and roll. You want to seem cool. So sometimes I would take, and I just pop it in my back pocket, or I'd pretend to take shit because I was like, I know I'm not gonna be a fucking Pete Doherty on stage. Do you know what I mean? I need to put on a good show, and then after it, I'd always have that amazing feeling of we just done something here. We really like put on a good show for people. That to me was like euphoria. So I wouldn't need to take anything after that. So that's how the music is a massive part of my recovery. Because when it came to me saying, how can I give up alcohol? Because it completely encapsulates and surrounds my life. I was like, but I know that I can stop if I have a reason to. That it's not just on me. It's like, it's my responsibility to the people who are giving up time out of their day, their lives. They're giving up their money to come and see us. That's how I was like, right, just pretend we got a show and then I'll not drink. So that was me. I was like, right, pretend I've got a show. Because we could play a show at like midnight, 1 a.m. And that's kind of how I started it, the building blocks. But when it was time for me to stop, it was actually one of the hardest times because it was just after COVID. I worked in a brewery. I was in 2 touring bands, and I had a pub crawl business as my side hustle in Glasgow. So every single thing that I'd done in my life, between work and hobbies and pleasure, it was all surrounded by alcohol, and it was all for free. I got free alcohol for everything I'd done. And any person that knew me, even my closest mates, would never have believed that I would have stopped completely, 100% now. So I'm pretty proud of that, but I knew I had to do it if I wanted to progress and really be the best me I could be, you know, because I feel like for me, I feel like I am on this planet for a reason. People might call me crazy, I don't care, but I feel like I do still have this burning desire, responsibility to make a little change, you know. It might not be massive. I'm not going to take over the world, but the people I do meet and the people that I do connect with through my music or just through my stories, and I want to do that little change, you know, for them and for me. So like I say, is anyone that's going through their own journey of recovery, whether that's alcohol, whether that's drugs, whether it's something harder, there's lots of things you can get addicted to. I've got a massive addiction that runs in my family. It's not always to drink and drugs. I've got an addictive personality if it comes to even like playing video games, like checking social media on my phone. I think everyone has a fucking degree of that sometimes, you know? So for me, it's all, I need to change a habit with something else. And it's not until I free up time through something that I can do something else. But it's also, it can be looked at as a superpower. For me, like the addictive personality and the ADHD at some stages in my life is a major problem. Because like, and having these opportunities to overindulge where I can totally understand if people saying, right, well, you can have like alcohol, girls and drugs for free any weekend. What are you going to do? Are you going to go fucking mad with it and potentially ruin reputations and friends and stuff? It's a hard thing to juggle, you know, so I can totally understand it from both ways. And I'm no perfect. I've fucked up loads. This is why I'm saying this shit. I'm not saying, oh, I just gave up alcohol and I'm amazing. Nah. I've done the bad shit. I've to the point where I'm like, I can't do that again. Do you know what I mean? Whether it's like I've messed up relationships, I've fucked up fucking money, everything you can imagine. Like get in trouble for doing stupid shit. Like, do you know what I mean? It's getting in fucking fights. Like I'm a fucking lover, man. I'm not a fighter. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there just comes to a certain level when if you push anything, you're not yourself, and that is why I don't do that anymore, because I love being in control and I love being me and I love everybody. Like I genuinely see the good in people and I want people to win. Like I do. I just want to help people. No matter like who you are, what age you are, I'm wanting to like fucking encourage you. Like if you want to do something, I'm already thinking like, how can I help them? I wonder if they know about this. Want to do that? Like, and I want to take people under my wing if they're like maybe like younger than me, or they're maybe want to pursue something, whether that's like, especially if it's stuff I know about, like music or rap or whatever. I'm like, dude, like I'm going to encourage you and like help you get to this. That is what I love doing, mate. And there's no hidden agendas or that. That's just the type of person I am. Beautiful. You know, I just love that stuff. And that's how going into youth work and going into support work just made so much sense to me, because when I came to Australia and I left the music, it's like I was like, how am I going to help people? What am I doing? I'm not on the stage like waving my magic wand and telling my stories. I'm like, what am I going to do? And I always had that. Like even back home, I had like lived experience, or just like mates I had, stuff that was even outside music that I would show people. This is how we could do things. We go do social events. We could go to sporting things. So when I came to Australia, and I was kind of like, I was a bit depressed, you know, and I'd only been sober like 8 months before I came here. The last time after COVID, the most recent time, and so it was time to go. You know what? Let's make a career in supporting people and
Yeah.
helping them, and that's how it was such an easy
Most
transition.
rewarding thing as well, eh?
100%, bro. And like I says, it's like I've always been passionate about that, but it was just like kind of like focusing it on the right way and also learning as well. Obviously, I've done getting the certificates, going through the courses, so doing it all. But it felt like such an easy transition because it just the way my life kind of fell from dominoes into this. So, and then when I started doing that, I was like, man, you'll know yourself. Be working in that industry, sometimes you're like, how am I getting paid for this, man? Is this actual
fully.
work? I'm having the funnest time ever. Like, it feels like sometimes you're just like hanging out with mates.
Yeah, fully, man.
Yeah.
100% agreed. 100%. I'm going to get DJ on the blower very, very shortly because we're doing the underground takeover. But before we go, we're going to do a live performance on It's Going to Be Okay as well. Very, very shortly. Before we do start that, though, 5 favourite things about Australia. Just a random little question for you.
Oh, 5 favourite things.
About Australia, yeah.
Right. Well, Oz rap, of course. That's got to be top. So next thing, right? Let's think. The pies, the meat pies, bro. I love that stuff. Like you can go to a servo and they're banging. They're like on point.
Yeah.
See, back in Scotland, you would never dream of going to like a corner shop or a service station and buying anything, especially that hot stuff that's not even hot. It's probably been there since like 2 in the afternoon.
And you get it
It's half
discounted
burnt.
as well.
And you just don't trust it, bro.
Yeah.
So, but here it's different. It's like you can go anywhere, and the standard of foods here, man, is crazy. So I say pies, but it's food in general.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fresh and it's good. The presentation.
Favourite Australian food following on from that?
Favourite Australian food? What is Australian food? What do you mean?
I don't know. How do we describe that? Eh?
How am I supposed to
I don't know, like...
Or like where to eat and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
things to eat, like...
Well,
have you tried traditional, like, First Nations food?
Yeah, I've tried kangaroo tail,
Yeah.
damper.
Yeah.
I love that, bro.
Yeah.
Don't get me. I
It's
love
good stuff, eh?
Yeah, man. There's yeah, and it's like you're just making it, and you slap some jam on there, bro. So yeah, it's the best.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
good. So good. What else about Australia? I think that's 3.
I like how big it is, bro. Like to me, it's so exciting. This is my first time in Perth, and I'm just like, wow. And
Hey, fine in Perth, by the way.
awesome, man. The weather's been great, not a cloud in the sky, and the how you get about with the rails, it's so easy, man. Like 15 minutes on the train, I'm like, boush, here I am, let's go.
Nice.
So yeah, I love it, man. Yeah, so just how big it is, like I say, there's still so much to... I only just went to Sydney this year for the first time, so I'm still got so many places to go.
You done Melbourne yet?
Yes, but only for a long weekend, so
Oh, yeah.
gotta go back.
Yeah, you got to go visit Melbourne.
Yeah.
Man. It's
So, yeah.
the culture there, man.
But yeah, that's what I said. And every place has its own vibe. It's got its own style. It's got like I love it up in the top end. It's a bit more chill. You got a bit more freedom. Like I feel like so. And I don't even know. I'll have to get back to you on that when I've seen more stuff. But yeah, the vastness of it. What was that? 3? Is that 3? What else? I love about Australia. The weather, of course, bro. That's like one of the main reasons I'm here. It's like depressing being in Scotland. It's raining all the time. It's windy, smashing you in the side of the face. You have to hide in like jackets and scarves and gloves and fuck that shit. I'm scared to go home now. Like I'm not Scottish anymore, mate.
You're Aussie.
That's
What
it,
is it
bro.
you said at Take Flight? What is
Scottish is I'm Aussie as
it?
fuck,
Aussie
mate.
as fuck, mate. Yeah.
I'm Aussie as fuck now, bro. See, like I've climatized.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go home and be like,
Get me back home.
I'll be like chittering.
Yeah, you were saying that in the car earlier.
Yeah, like people be like, he's no Scottish anymore. Get out. Get out. You're no fee here.
All right, man. I just need some water, and then we're just going to kick off with a live performance, and then I'll call DJ. So let's get on it.
Cheers for having me, man.
All good, man. Kicking it off. Won't Forget You by Jimmy Rambles. Beautiful song. Tell them what it's about, bro.
This song is about people that left too soon. people that are looking down from above.
I
This-
won't forget you.
Yeah. Some people struggling with mental health. Some people struggling with addiction.
But regret you.
Okay, let's go.
Get it, Jimmy.
Only thing I know is that there is no answers. Is it God's plan to give a family man cancer? I'm damn fear. How can she feel she can't last here when everyone's obsessed with next year or last year? They forget the present. It's living the now. It's all that exists. So let's cherish it. Wow, our minds are precious. And yes, I've found out our lives are fragile. So be good to your crowd. Tell your parents that you love them. Tell your children you're proud. Cause you never quite know when death comes around. I used to be so scared and frequently cry. Cause everyone knows that everyone dies. A blessing and a curse, that's being alive. And the only way out's the only way out we know. Life's but a ride. Why did the chick cross the road to get to the other side?
I won't forget you.
Hey,
Couldn't if I tried.
hey, rest in power.
Regret you.
Why is the world gotta be so cruel? My mates had to escape from thoughts that ruled. Mental health decays when pain paves the doom. Beautiful souls became angels way too soon. Better believe it, everyone has inner demons. Can't help myself, a wrong frame of mind. Dive too deep in the deep end again, oh my. Dive too deep and I'm screaming, I tend to cry. Cause everyone's life is quite like a screenshot. Quick take a squeeze-saw. Cause what he thought was in feeding a feeling. We're all human beings and we all have feelings, yup. So show some love. Far too many, they don't do it enough. You, I know it can be rough when you're down on your luck. And I know it can be tough when you're down in the dumps. So I'm asking the man in the mirror if he can save me. Why is the world gotta be so cruel? My mates had to escape from thoughts that rule. Mental health decays when pain paves the doom. Beautiful souls became angels way too soon. True.
Oh. Jimmy Rambles, ladies and gentlemen. Won't forget you.
Never, man. To the day I die.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff. Go and check his Insta at Jimmy Rambles. His Facebook, Jimmy Rambles. Beautiful stuff, man. Epic performance, bro. We're going to finish it off with your message to the world. What's your message to people listening, man?
Be kind to each other, man.
Nice, man. Be kind to each other. We'll leave it at that. At Jimmy Rambles on Instagram. Jimmy Rambles on Facebook. You know where to find him. Go follow the journey because it's been epic to watch. Thank you for jumping on, man.
Pleasure, mate. Cheers for having me.
Legend.